What is going on, guys? Back with another video. We're currently up 500. I'm gonna make this video pretty short and simple. I took this trade. Again, I'm gonna go over my higher time frame bias on why I wanted it to see lower as well. As you look here on this 4 hour, we are inside a 4 hour gap right over here. Sorry if I'm speed running this, but I just want to get this video out. 4 hour gap here. Ended up fulfilling it. Now, you zoom into the 1 hour. You zoom into the 1 hour, and what do you see here? You zoom into the 1 hour, and you see that we actually tapped into a 1 hour for value gap. But not only that, we actually ended up turtle souping and taking out this internal high, right? So, zooming into the 1 minute, this was the first trade that looked really solid, but I did not take, right? So on the higher time frame, right, we just swept out this high, tapped into a 1 hour. Now, if we get a big inverse or some sort of SMT, it's a good sign of a reversal, right? If you look at here on the 2 minute, there is actually an SMT with ES that was really solid. I did not take this because there was news at 7 a.m. Right, there's an SMT here. Not only that, good candle closure with his fair value gap. So this trade would have been amazing, absolutely amazing. Right, it could have been something like this. This would have been your trade, right? This is for 300 points, but there was news at 7, so I know I just stayed away from it. But this was a really good trade. I know someone definitely took this. You definitely have, you could have put your stop loss to break even here as soon as you hit this low, never even getting close to hitting your break even. That would have been absolutely wild trade, right? But the trade I ended up taking, I was just letting it happen, right? I was just letting price do its thing. At this point in time, we are in a 4 hour gap right over here, right? Not only that, there is another 4 hour gap over here as well, right? Now the thing is, on the higher time frame, you have to really zoom in and really dissect everything. So because on the 4 hour, when I was looking at this candle just had opened. There's like 3 hours left for this candle. I'm not gonna wait 3 hours, right? So you zoom in and observe what price is telling you to do, or not what price is telling you to do, what like price is giving you, what it's like offering, right? So I'm zooming into the 5 minute, and I remember, keep in mind, we're inside a big 4 hour gap. We're just going like this. That's the 4 hour candle just going up and down, right? You can't really predict on that time frame, what kind of move you should catch. So you zoom in on the 5 minute, and I see that we have this big 5 minute here that has not gotten tapped into. So I want to see us continue to, I want to play around this, because if this gets inversed, okay, this is telling me that price potentially wants to continue higher, right? But if it doesn't, even because on the higher time frame, again, we tapped into a 1 hour, we took out a sell buy side. There's an SMT here, and we had a big fall off. Not only that, if you look on the 1 hour, power of 3. We have accumulation. This is your accumulation right over here, right? Then you have your manipulation. Your manipulation was us taking out this high, right? And then you have your displacement being, just these death candles to the downside. So we do also have a power of 3, right? So I kind of wanted us to go lower, just because of this good solid momentum, right? So I zoom into the 1 minute, and I'm looking for a trade off of this 5 minute, and I see that we actually tap into it. And at first I was looking at catching this inverse right over here, but it doesn't actually end up happening, just because the candle closure for this is horrible. If the candle had closed here, this would have been a solid trade, but luckily there was a 1 minute right over here that we inversed pretty solid. And then, draw of liquidity is definitely clear here, just because, this is the only low here resting. So the draw of liquidity was just sitting there. And I go on the 4 hour, and I'm like, okay, most of my positions out. Now I'm targeting the high, the high and low of this 4 hour gap. And if you zoom on the 1 minute, we actually ended up hitting both of those TPs and scaled all of my position out at this bottom one for around 150 points. So this was really good. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Definitely this first trade, this bigger one starting up here, was this trade of the day. Now, this is just me catching a piece of the pie. But if this had inversed with a good solid closure again at this line, dude, this would have been an amazing trade. 200 points. But I'm not complaining. I caught my piece of the pie. I was light in size as well, just because super volatile. And yeah, I appreciate you guys. I'm going to go eat and then back to my meetings. Appreciate you guys. Love you guys. And have a great Tuesday.